Hello, pod lovers. Welcome to another Liverpool podcast. Our discussion today includes the Champions League game against Salzburg, the stuttering Watford victory, the impending signing of Takumi Minamino, and the inconsequential matter of Norbert extending his Liverpool contract. I suppose it's about that time where I introduce Buttercup. How are you, darling?
Am I in this one? Am I in this week? I thought I might be having a night off.
How are you, mate?
I'm all right. I've just been kept waiting all night, so I was beginning to wonder if I was in this one. I thought I might have done.
Story of your life, mate.
I was just going to leave it recording and go to bed.
That's the story of your life. I bet you get stood up loads, eh?
Oh, all the time, mate. All the time, and that's just by people who know me.
All right, mate. Lots to do, lots to talk about. Let's start with today's Champions League draw. Liverpool getting Atletico Madrid. What's your thoughts?
To be honest, it's not as bad as it could have been. They're not at their best at the moment. I mean, Simeone's virtually. They're talking about sacking him. They're considering it. So this could be a good time to play them.
They're only 6 points off the top of La Liga.
Yeah, but you got to remember how bad Barcelona and Real Madrid have been this year for starters. They've been terrible. They've been playing some pitiful football. And Atletico have been worse. And added to that, they spent 100-odd million in the summer on the kid that he's playing all right, but he's not playing 100-odd million pounds worth the player, you know what I mean?
You know what? I completely forgot they bought João Felix. João Felix, potato, as the Griezmann replacement. So he's not playing that well, no? Or he's not setting the world on fire?
He's playing all right, but you know what I mean? He's not like Mbappe level, which is what you'd expect when you pay that kind of money, isn't it?
Well, they definitely bought potential there, didn't they, rather than the ready-made pro.
I think he's going to be a superstar in the future, but he's not suited to the way they're playing him, I don't think, at all.
So you say that you said that it could be a lot worse. I honestly feel I really wanted Real Madrid. I needed
revenge.
I wanted retribution. So yeah, exactly. But you say it couldn't have been worse. I mean, who out there is? I mean, really, who out there that we can't beat over two legs?
No, I'd fancy us against anyone at the moment. So
I'd want City again. I think that they're super beatable now. Their aura has evaporated, and listen, they're losing to Newcastle and Norwich. So I'd have them next round. I mean, I want Madrid, to be honest with you. I do want Madrid to beat them, but I don't see they're going to beat City. But really, I mean, it's not arrogance or being overconfident, but I just don't think that over two legs, I don't think there's anyone that can beat us. I mean, I think we can beat anybody in the competition, left in the competition today.
I'd say anybody can beat anybody, and with a bit of luck and playing at their best, and the other team not playing at their best. Anyone can beat anyone. But if both teams are at their best, I'd fancy us to beat anyone. Is how I'd look on it.
Absolutely, and the finals at the Atatürk Stadium in Istanbul. So that's
first off, we've got to go to the Wanda Metropolitana where we won it last year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I've never been able to pronounce that. Say that again.
The Wanda Metropolitana.
Oh, look at you. So yeah.
6 months in Spain wasn't wasted. I learned how to pronounce a football stadium.
Yeah. And eat lots of sausage.
Double entendre. Sausage?
Yes. Yeah, I meant that double entendre.
In Spain?
What, Spanish sausage?
Is it famous? Is that? Now, see, I never knew that.
Like you don't know. Anyway, let's... So what do you think then? You think that will get over the line there?
Well, like I said, I'd fancy us to beat anyone if we play well. It's just if we play well.
What's that Saul Nunez playing like?
He's
Because you rate him, don't you?
I love him. I think he's a brilliant player.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, this isn't a vintage season for him, but it's not like a bad
Mm.
season for him.
And is that in Naki? Is that Naki? I know you rate him, and I think it's Man United for him, aren't
Well, they were when Mourinho was in charge. I don't know if they're
they? Oh,
back
I
in
see what
for
you
him.
mean.
I don't know if they've gone back in for him. I know there's been stories going around, but I haven't had a chance to check. Like like my parents are here at the moment, so I've been a bit busy.
Yeah, I was looking forward to speaking to your mum today. We'll have to leave
Hey,
that till
Jake,
next week.
careful what you say here.
Listen, what you
Your
don't know
missus
won't hurt
listens to this, so be careful what you say here.
you. Anyway, what was I going to say to you? Is that Inaki Williams still there and
Yeah,
playing?
yeah. I think so. Well,
Yeah,
unless
yeah.
I've not
They've
heard
got
of
it.
him moving.
They've got a lot of talent there, haven't they? A
Yeah,
lot of
exactly, and
talent, but
that's
they're
why
obviously not.
Simeone's not. His peg's starting to wobble a bit because they're getting fed up now with the style
Ah,
of
I see.
football he plays as well. If you're not
Yeah,
winning, it's not a good watch, is it?
it's kind of a war of attrition out there, isn't it? I mean, it's not. It's real defensive, turgid stuff, and they hit
Mm.
you on the break.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the big worry about facing them is injuries because they are
What?
very, very, very physical.
Right. Okay. Well, as you said, I fancy our chances. So, you know what? I'm interested to see is Oblak v Becker.
Is this like a
That should,
boxing match or?
yeah, yeah. No. That'd be a good. It'd be a good way of comparing and contrasting the both keepers. You know, I'd
Well,
say they're probably the top two, three keepers in the world.
yeah, I think so as well. I think those two are up there. The problem,
Different styles, but
Oblak gets a much easier ride than Becker. To be fair, he doesn't have to,
because
he doesn't have to do anything like as much because of the way they play.
right, yeah, of course, yeah. All right, mate. We'll see what transpires. Okay, next up is the startling and totally unexpected news. Norbert signing a 2-year extension to his contract. I couldn't believe it when I woke up to that.
Yeah, because the offer had been on the table, but he's always said 7 years was enough, and obviously, as we know, before the 2 years would have taken it to 7 years, so everyone expected that'd be it. So yeah, it was
I,
it was great news.
I mean, it was the best news ever. I mean, that's better than something. That's better than Mbappe signing, or
It's better
or a
than
Griezmann
sex, mate.
signing.
Not that I know what that's like.
Gonna say not the way, not the way I do it. Maybe the way you do it.
That's not what your missus says.
Oh yeah, like she's been talking to you. Oh, cat's out the bag. What was I gonna say? Yes. So, I mean, that's absolutely wonderful news. It's the best news we could have hoped for. I mean, that'll be 9 years if he stays to the end of his contract. I mean, I'm sure he's probably one of the top two, three, four best paid managers on the planet now.
Yeah,
They
because he
must
was
have given
number
him a good
20,
run.
wasn't he, in that list?
Yeah. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer getting paid more than Klopp.
That's
It beggars
insanity.
belief.
Insanity, that is.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, let's hope they've given him a great contract and he can carry on doing wonders because he's now building a dynasty. So fair play to him.
So do you
I
think
love
there's any relation in the, just before you go on, any relation in the Gerrard signing an extra 2 years to run his till 2024 as well?
that was the only dampener on the whole day when he signed they both signed that contract together. I just I just
Well, you
don't.
think they signed in the same room and everything now, do you? Talk about conspiracy theory there.
You're the king of conspiracy theories, mate.
No, that's
I
Ed,
just,
that's Ed 33 that's the king of conspiracy
gosh, yeah.
theories. Proper king.
I just don't. I just don't see that as a as happening. I just think that I honestly think that I think Linda's will be the person to go to next. It is just a natural progression. I know that Klopp has said he'll help Gerrard as much as possible um, to get the Liverpool job, but I just think the natural progression. when Klopp leaves is Pep Lijnders. He's at a good age, he's young, he plays. He thinks about football the way in an exciting way. I just don't think Gerrard. I'm not sure. How about you?
I just don't see that. Whatever he does at Rangers doesn't really prove anything, or didn't, does it? You're only competing against one team.
Yeah, but they gave Souness the job, and he was he was successful at Rangers.
Yeah, exactly my point. The show, once you've seen what happened with Souness, you start to think, well, maybe we should avoid Rangers managers. You know what I mean?
I listen. If he's trailblazing the Scottish Premier League and he's getting them regularly into Europe, and he's playing a brand of football that is exciting.
He'd struggle not to get him into Europe, considering he's only playing against two teams and they get like 3 specs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's only he's only fighting against Celtic, and there's 3 spaces to get into Europe. He's going to struggle badly to not get into Europe. Let's be honest.
Let me retract that and add something new. If he's winning the Premier League regularly and getting Champions League, and they're playing a sexy brand of football and attacking philosophy, that's what I mean. So. And then maybe, because it worked. I mean, Lampard, it's working for Lampard at Chelsea. But then I just don't see how you cannot give it to Pep Lijnders. I mean, I don't know what he's like as a number one, but, I just think that he's ingrained in that philosophy that Klopp is incubating kind of thing. And I just don't think it'd be a good idea to give it to somebody outside.
I think it's too early to tell, to be honest. Such a long way off, hopefully.
Yes, well, it's 2025, isn't it now?
Well, or 2024.
Sorry, I was just being greedy there. But I love the way
Wishful
Liverpool are doing
thinking.
business now. Yeah, exactly. It's just like the old days,
Yeah, just get it done.
Just get it done. But it's even more startling that they're keeping these deals secret, because all the advent of social media and everything, you can't keep anything quiet, and they're still doing it. So fair play to the club.
They've actually got better as well, as over these last couple of years, and you'd think it would be more difficult.
Exactly. I mean, I think they learnt their lesson with that. Is it Kenny Huang or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean, but I can't think of his name now. I've forgotten his name. No, it wasn't. It was Chang, Jen Chang. Jen Chang.
Yeah, the chief media officer who got fired for beating somebody up or something, didn't he?
Threatened him. He threatened some guy on Twitter who'd been releasing team sheets. He thought he was getting inside info when he was just guessing.
Yeah, so I remember those days, and I mean, it's just gone. It's tightened up measurably since then. It's insane. It's great. It's good to hear. It's good to see.
Yes,
all right, mate.
Do everything on the quiet and just get it done.
Absolutely. I tell you what, this was another great piece of news to wake up to. Minamino signing.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Milner's contract then. When you said that, it was the same day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we'll get on to Milner. I mean, Milner signing is not as exciting for me as Minamino signing, to be honest.
Really?
I mean, I love Milner.
I love Billy.
Really?
That made my day.
All right.
Whereas Minamino, I mean, he's going to struggle, isn't he? Let's be honest, to get in this team.
Let's talk about Milner then, mate. Another one that was out of the blue. Did you hear what he said? That he was waiting. Klopp was waiting for Milner to sign so Klopp could sign his extension.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How can you not love Millie? He's great.
I mean, it's. I think this. I've got to be honest. I think this. Has he signed so we can get a fee for him if somebody comes in for him, or is it a view to giving him a coaching position at the end of his contract?
I think it's more likely that he thinks he can play on for that length of time at this level, and so he's happy to continue playing. He think it's trophies. It's what it's about.
but he's not. He's playing less than he played last season. Don't get me wrong.
But he's
I
still
love
playing
James Milner,
regularly.
but the thing is, I don't see him being a starter. Right? We've given him a 2-year contract. Right? So I don't. He's playing less than he was playing last season. I don't see him being a starter. He's not a regular starter, and I just see. I don't know whether it's. I think it may be a view to a coaching role, or if somebody came in for him, we get a fee for him.
I don't think the fee would be worth worrying about, to be honest, at his age. So, for the amount we'd have to pay
Yeah,
off the contract, I don't think it'd make a
yeah,
difference.
yeah,
I think it's purely that he's just having such a good time at the moment, and the chances of winning trophies are huge. And he's
yeah.
playing. I mean, you say he's not playing that regularly, but he's played a lot of games. If you count the amount of games he's played this season, I bet he's played a lot of games. Hang
Now,
on, I'll
let
tell
me
you.
pose a question. Go
I'll have a look now, quick. How many
on.
games
Okay.
he's played? I'm doing just
Get your get your encyclopedia out.
the internet. That's what we've got
Yeah.
these days. Something called the internet. We could look things up on.
Oh,
It's clever.
oh really?
Yeah. He's played
When I
20.
get
He's
to ask
played
you now.
22 games this season.
Okay.
I
Now,
know they're not all in the
is
Premier League. He's played 6 times in the Champions League. It's not
it can't
bad.
be 22 games in the Premier League.
Yeah,
We haven't
13
played
times in the
22.
Prem.
Okay. Now, let me pose a question to you. Does a 34-year-old Milner coming off the bench and having his personality, does that warrant a 2-year contract?
But I think it's more likely he'll play intermittently
Right.
to allow other players
Okay.
rest and cover all the different positions as well. So if there's injuries, he'll get a run of games in that like.
Right. So you think he can still do it at 34, 35?
Yeah, he's one of those players. I think he's. You've got to say he's been getting better, if anything, hasn't he, over the last year or
Yeah,
two?
I was having a conversation with a mate of mine, right? And I was saying, they were saying about, we were saying when he writes his memoirs, I think that his time at Liverpool will be the most sweetest or the one he fondly remembers because he's beloved by the squad. You can see he's beloved by
He
the
said it
fans. His
himself. He's
coach
caught the
loves
bug. He's fallen in love.
him. Right? Yeah, and I think that wow, I didn't know that. That's absolutely what a legend. So you're happy with that contract, right?
Oh yeah, very happy. I think it's brilliant news.
Because he's well respected within the squad, and apparently when he talks, people listen in the dressing room.
Well, he knows what he's talking about, and and his experience has been invaluable.
Explain how valuable that is, because you often hear people say, "Oh, he's a voice in the dressing room, the experience, etc., etc."
It's not
How
just the
important is that?
talking. It's also the
Yeah,
way he carries himself, the way he trains, the way he looks after himself. You know what I mean? When there's kids around, he'll take them under his wing, have a chat with them, explain to them what they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing, and of course, obviously, he's an example because of the way he trains as well. These kids can see him and think that's how I've got to. If I want to be playing at 30 odd years old, I need to be doing that. You know what I mean? He does the right things as well as be. Also, the way he acts, he's always calm. You never
yeah,
see him getting ridiculously
flustered.
flustered and losing his
Yeah,
composure or anything really. And
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
great help as well. That's because people do feed off when one person. You see it all the time. The way one club will just fall apart. One team, will just fall apart when one person turns around and starts arguing, and the next thing everybody jumps in. You know what I mean? There's a big fight.
and they get belligerent, and yeah, 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 yeah. And I was, I was absolutely. Hang on, my missus is calling me.
Oh, hey. She's obviously because I'm not answering her
if,
messages. That's what it
you
is, mate.
know what? If she can't be here, she has to get involved somehow, eh?
She just can't wants to know why I'm not answering her messages, mate. Don't worry. Just tell her I'm busy chatting to you.
Did she just leave your place? What was I going to say to you? Hang on, stay there. Let me just tell her I'm doing a podcast. Uh,
She already knows. She was just right. This is just their way of getting in it.
I'm doing a podcast. I'll
Each
talk to you later, babe.
each time she just wants to be mentioned in it. That's what it is. She wants to be the star of the podcast.
Just it don't take much, eh?
Well, let's be honest. She couldn't be any worse than us two.
Exactly. Um, all right, mate. Let me just text this and I'll. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think we're done with Milner. Let's talk about Minamino. What a bolt out of the blue that was. Did you have any inkling this was going to happen?
Well, no, because not like this. I didn't think anything had happened in January, to be honest. You know, it was one of those where you just thought, nah, not happening in January. It's going to be a quiet one. Especially not an attacker. You know, of all the things you thought like you might get.
But when you first saw, I mean, I remember saying to you when I first saw him against Salzburg, and I'm sure this was the case for a gazillion other Liverpool fans as well. I just thought he'd fit so fantastically well into the system that we play, especially the 4-3-3. That I just thought it was that Fekir type player that we wanted, we wanted to not replace, but to buy.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, when you put it like that, but...
What's your reservations? Because you seem to have some. I know from your replies on
It's
on
not,
the
it's
site, you're
just...
not sold.
I like him. I'm just not seen enough of him to go and say, oh yeah, that's a great signing. You know what I mean? I've seen
I
him
mean,
play. I've seen him play twice. It's not really a lot to judge a player on. And against
I
us, he
get
was
that.
absolutely anonymous in the second half last time out. So basically, it's 1.5 games he's turned up for.
Now, 7.25 million, right? And that's an absolute steal, right? Number one, the marketability of the guy, right? That the couple with the new night deal, right? That gives us revenue on profits on merchandise sold,
Yeah, that could
right?
be a great
That should make
signing for that alone.
that should exactly that should make it that'll make up the signing fee.
Do you know
And
what
he's
the best thing
nearly
about it was, according to, and I don't know how true this is because this isn't coming from a perfect source, but I was told that like Man United had gone in. I don't know how true this is because obviously I've been so busy, right? But Man United apparently had gone in and spoken to the club, RBS, and didn't
right.
know about the release clause. So they'd gone in. They
RBS
were
is a
speaking.
bank, mate.
They was
RBS is a bank.
no RBS, RB Salzburg.
Oh, I thought you meant Royal Bank of Scotland.
Anyway, yeah, so they'd gone
Yeah,
in and
go on.
spoke to these about Minamino, wanted to buy him,
Yeah.
and that was how it got leaked about the release clause, and that's all we jumped on. And he's chosen, and basically that's where they'd stepped away because they were trying to buy, they didn't know about the release clause and didn't want to pay over the odds, like.
Right.
And then
I
because the
was
release clause news came out, we jumped in and said, yes, 7.5 million, we'll have that. Thank you very much. Before they could step back
I
in again.
I was under the impression that because of Edwards and his counterpart who do we buy Navigator off?
RB Leipzig.
IB Leipzig, right? Because they're all an umbrella group.
Yeah.
That because that he had such a fantastic relationship with the guy from Leipzig. I can't remember his name now. That the guy told him about that's how the release course was known. But why would he volunteer that information when he get a lot more money? The guy. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many. It's hard to tell, isn't it?
Or maybe it was just his agent
Yeah, exactly.
who
Wanted to get
said
him a move.
exactly. I mean, maybe it was just his agent just said, look, rang up Edwards and said, look, he's got a release clause of 7.25 million. He wants to come to you. What are you going to do about it?
Well, I don't know. If I wanted to get a move, that's the first thing you do is say, look, I'm only 7.5 million, isn't it?
Yeah. And the other thing is his versatility. He plays four attacking positions.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a
Apparently doesn't.
fantastic signing if he plays as well as he looked at times in the games. Fantastic signing, but it's just, is that his level or is that just him playing out of his skin? Is what worries me.
Yeah, but you're
I
you're a
just like
cynic
to watch
anyway.
players 10. I like to watch players play at least 10 times before I judge them because they can have bad games and good games that are completely out of character.
But he's scored 11 goals in 22 games at national for Japan internationally.
Yeah, but
It can't be that bad.
they're playing against teams like China. I'm not being funny, but like, have you ever watched them play? I mean, you've got to remember, I live in an Asian country and I watch the Asian nations all the time. And they're awful, not being funny. There's only Son is about the only decent player around other than a couple of Japanese players. Because there's that other one, the lads who was at Barcelona now at Real Madrid, or the other way round. I forget. There's like a 16-year-old now. Is it
Right.
I forget his name.
I don't know. No. So you've just rained on my parade. Let's just get on with the
He could
Salzburg
be
game now.
brilliant. I'm not being funny. If he plays like he did, you
Right.
know what I mean? Like he did in the first game against us. Brilliant
Yeah.
signing. But the question is, obviously, is that his level or is that just a one-off? Because sometimes
Well,
players do play out of their
if,
skin
if it's
and
his
won
level,
games.
if he could consistently do that level, then I'll have that level. But if he's just doing it as a one-off, then that's different. But anyway, I'm sad now, so let's just get on with the
Just be happy
Salzburg
because
game.
it's still a good trade. At that price, it's a no-risk signing because you can sell him on if he doesn't
You could
work
sell
out.
him on double the price. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, mate. Let's get on to the Salzburg game. We totally should have scored 100 goals at least. We were so profligate in front of goal. It was
It's
insane.
odd game of two halves though. First half, when we played the 4-3-3, it was end-to-end stuff and we should have scored a lot more. Second half, we just took charge. Once we switched to a 4-2-3-1.
2-3-1. Yeah. Yeah,
Though the
but because of
commentator
our
kept saying it was still a 4, and I'm thinking, when's he going to notice that, like, they've all moved around and we've now playing with Salah's in the centre, like, and Mane's on the right, and the commentators don't even notice. You think, oh, God.
and they still think we play a high press football game. It's they're 2 years behind these commentators. It's absolutely it's embarrassing, and these guys get paid to do what they do.
And a lot of decent
I
money
mean,
as well.
yeah. I mean, I think because of our wastefulness in front of goal, we made the game a lot more harder and trickier than it should have been. You know,
First half we did, not in the second half.
yeah, but all right, they had a great chance to open the scoring, and Becker made that great double save. But after that, it was just us missing sitter after sitter, and Salah being the most guilty.
But at the end of the day, we still won comfortably. Doesn't
No,
matter
I
if
mean,
it's 7-0 or
no, it doesn't.
2-0.
No, but that's no,
So,
exactly. I mean, that's it's easy to. I mean, of course, that's easy to say, and it's not very in a philosophical sense. But if you're picking the bones, I mean, that wastefulness is it's annoying me because it's game after game after game. I know we keep winning, and it's easy to say we keep winning, but that's some. I hope that doesn't.
we're not
I
that
mean, it could be in a
profligate.
European
Didn't you
game.
watch the Watford game? Now, if you want to see profligate, we're going to talk about that. Like, let's be honest.
We'll talk about
Watford
that. Like, I
are
mean, come
the
on, but
prime
we're doing.
example.
I know, but we're doing it game after game. I mean,
I
it's
know,
it's
but like,
insane.
I'm just saying, we're still scoring goals though. Raz, that's
Mm.
that's when you're not going to score every shot. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't matter how
I
good the
get that,
players
but
are; they're only human, and they're not going to score every time. We're not
I
missing
get that, but
400 chances because we're not making 400 chances to miss.
we're missing it. We're missing 399 at least.
Yeah, all right, okay,
Um,
it's close, but
but but saying that, I'm rubbish in Salah's finishing skills, but then he goes and scores the most ridiculous angle ever.
and
I mean,
And you can't really criticise him this week after the goals he scored. Let's be honest.
Well, no, you.
You've
Listen,
chosen
who
the
am I
wrong
to?
week to moan about him being profligate. Let's be honest here.
I mean, it was the most ridiculous angle. Even he couldn't. I mean, even he celebrated because he couldn't believe he scored.
Well, with the right
It
foot as
was,
well. That should have killed her out, not in.
mate. That's 3 goals with his right foot in a row. That is, it's getting stupid now. I was glad to see Naby score the opener.
Yeah, he did all right as well, didn't he? So
I think he had a really good game, and it's going to up his confidence level as well. So, any standout moments for you in the game apart from obviously Salah's goal?
and Keats' goal. Trying to think standout moments. I think what stood out for me was Klopp seeing that it wasn't good enough to just be as good as them. He wanted to be better than them. And he did. He changed it and we dominated them instead of just being, instead of it being a 50-50 game where it was end to end and they had as many chances as us. He took charge of it and totally dominated. And Jesse Marsh was made to look like a novice, which he is, to be fair. But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Didn't have a clue how to answer it, did he?
No, we just kind of stepped up the gear tactically, stepped it up, and he couldn't handle it. Yeah, I get that. What did you think of Haaland? Do you think he's ready for the next level?
I think he needs to step up because it's playing in the Austrian league just isn't going to be enough for him. Obviously, it's too easy a level. He needs to step up. If he's going to make it.
I'm cautious about this guy. I know everybody's raving, but I don't see that kind of, that
he's going through a
elite,
purple patch, definitely.
Yeah, I don't see that elite level prodigy, if you know what I mean. That kind of bursting on that kind of world class thing, Mbappe thing.
He's not that level. But then nor was I was trying to think. No, if you look back at it, Ian Rush was never bursting on the scene at that kind of level.
No. But I just don't see that this guy is. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hope he does wonderful things in football. He wins a lot of trophies, etc., and he has the best career. But I just don't see that
goals.
They're talking. I just think they're talking him up a lot more than maybe he deserves. I don't know. I could be wrong. Hopefully, I am wrong. And again, as I say,
he has been showing it a while. To be fair, because there's been because obviously the Leeds fans follow him. If you speak to Leeds, they've been going on about him for years.
Right.
So I've taken, because of them mentioning him, I was like, I didn't know his, obviously Alfinger Haaland's lad, so they mentioned him a few years back now. One of them said we should go for him. He looks a star, in the future. Yeah. So I've looked up. I've only seen bits and pieces here and there, but I think he has got. I think he's not top level, not Mbappe, Messi, that kind of level, but he's certainly got the potential to be a top class Premier League striker, you know what I mean? He got a real top class goal scorer.
You think he's off to United?
Well, do you know what? If it was anybody else, I'd have said definitely he'll go there. They're so desperate to, they're desperately trying to get him there. But he's from Leeds. He's a Leeds fan.
Yes.
So I just don't know if he will take it. I don't know if that might... I don't know, because I don't know the lad personally. Otherwise, I'd say, I think he's definitely going to go there. Though I think it's the wrong choice for him, and I think it's the wrong choice by them, because they've got that Greenwood coming through. I don't understand why they want Haaland. Just develop the lad you've got. That Greenwood's class. He's going to be a talent and a half, and they could end up losing him over this.
Oh, I don't think I think they'll do anything not to. Can't? They're not that dumb.
Well, surely. You don't go and buy somebody when you've just got when he's just on the verge of the first team. You then go out and buy a kid about the same age. That seems a bit odd.
Maybe they're open to losing one of the others, like a Martial or a Lingard.
Yeah, but even so, what you should be doing is bringing in somebody experienced who can help him through. Bring him on. That's what they should be doing. A bit like Milner does with the Liverpool team.
Exactly. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know how much is. I'm not sure how much this it comes into the equation. But what happened to his father at Old Trafford?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's why I was thinking. If it had been anyone else, I'd have said, yeah, he'll be at Man United in January. But with it being him and his dad and all that, I don't know if that's gonna.
Yeah,
if that might make him say, no, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, but his dad basically, he forfeited. He's basically his career ended an injury at Old Trafford, and he's a Leeds fan. They don't that complete animosity towards each other. So it doesn't bode well for United.
His dad was a Man City player as well. Remember, it's not just Leeds, like.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Oh, well, he'll probably sign tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't know. They want him. They've been trying to get him. But, RBS have given him permission to talk to, given clubs permission to talk to him. So,
yeah.
There's nothing stopping them making a deal other than he's a Leeds fan.
You think it'll be ridiculous money, or do you think it'll be 20, 30 million?
Yeah, it'll be 20, 30 million. He's just a kid. Might be with a sell-on fee or... with
a buyback
clauses for X amount of goals, things like that, and trophies, things like that.
Yeah,
a bit like the ones we turned down on. No, not us. Somebody turned down Spurs' offering us. Remember, for a player, I forgot who it was, because they said he'd have had to have won the Premier League and it's and Champions League and stuff to get anything like the money we wanted. And there's no chance of him winning a trophy at Spurs, so we rejected the offer.
Exactly. One final thing on the Salzburg game. I don't know if you know, but Klopp criticising. He had a go at the translator pre-game press conference.
Yeah, and then he apologised afterwards. I saw that.
So he manned up and after he messed up. So fair play to Klopp for doing that.
Yeah, because he didn't have to. Because nobody would have known what he was. I mean, most people didn't know what he was on about. I didn't until I had to go and find out what had happened. Like,
Klopp told him. He basically said, "I'll translate. It's not that difficult." Which was
yeah, and he did say afterwards, I wasn't happy with the translation, but I shouldn't have done that. I was out of order. And which is true.
I like that a lot. It's a great quality to have that humility. Just offer that apology after you've embarrassed the guy. So fair play. Should we get on to the Watford game, mate?
Yeah, may as well.
All right, mate. Early kickoff showed most of the team were still asleep, it seemed. Watford had their shooting boots on. That game's a draw at least for Watford. At the very least, they'd have got a draw out of that.
Do you know what? I disagree. I think this was one of those games where we just never got out of first gear. We were just cruising, and we could have stepped it up and gone and put the game to bed at any point if we wanted to. But it was just like, when you saw what they were doing, you felt it was kind of like we just thought, oh, why bother? We don't really need to do any more. And let's face it, we should have had 3 goals. I mean, the second one, there's no way. I mean, the armpit hair offside. Well, we know they're not calibrated that exactly. So, I mean, it's the second time we've had one taken off us for a ridiculous decision.
The first time they did the lines, he was onside. The second time they did it, he was offside. And they put it forward a few millimetres or whatever it was.
Yeah, they say it's where they're calibrating it from. But some of the, when you look at I'm not convinced. And they know full well that the calibration isn't that exact anyway. So why would you give it for that? In fact, this is one of the things people like Arsene Wenger and FIFA and UEFA and that have come out and said, that they shouldn't be given, that something will have to be done about this, about offsides, because they're giving them decisions on marginal calls when the software isn't that exact. It's far too inexact for that. I mean, you've got things like, you can have motion blur on the picture, can add a few centimetres.
Yeah.
You've also got you've also got which frame they freeze it on. Well, is it
Right.
26 frame, 25 frames a second? It's 20 somewhat
Yeah.
frames a second. So you can
26,
move,
isn't it?
and you can move a few inches in between each frame, for starters.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's another one. I mean, and they could easily,
but
there's normally like 7 or 8 frames they could choose between where the ball's, which they choose between where the ball's still at his foot, like.
yeah. Do you know my favourite part of that disallowed goal?
Mane's reaction.
Mane's reaction. How
I thought it was
wonderful was that?
brilliant, yeah.
That was one of the best things I've ever seen in football. I just thought that was just poetry. The fact that he's so invested in this football club,
I got the.
invested in the team.
Did you not think from the moment you could see him, from the moment he got it, he went in and he thought, it doesn't matter if I'm onside, they're not going to give us this. They're going to find a reason to disallow it. You could see him looking and thinking, you could see the look on his face. He had that, that look on his face saying, the referee's going to fight. They've obviously decided it's not going to count.
Yeah,
You could see
I
the look
see
on
where
his
you're going.
face. He did look. He
I
looked
see where
like
you,
he just accepted not going to be counting.
I can see your point, but I thought I saw in his face and his reaction and his body language, his hand movement. I just thought he just thought, "Don't worry, pal. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we'll
I'll
just
score
go.
another one."
Yeah, we're not going to
Yeah,
let it stop us. We're just going to go. We
yeah,
know that's not going
yeah,
to stand because they'll find a way to disallow it. So we'll
yeah.
just go and do it. And
And
we'll
what
just
we'll
go and
do,
score another.
and then the next game we'll score another and another and another. And it's just that there is that you see that aura there. He just symbolised that aura that's about us at the moment. That kind of the juggernaut that we are. You know, that big red machine, that invincibility. Those those actions from Mane just typified that for me. No, he wasn't bothered. You know, he thought, sod it. You know what? We're going to win this thing
Yeah,
by
well
hook or by crook.
they kicked him from pillar to post as well. I mean, they were absolutely hammering him every time he had the ball. They're pulling
I
him,
thought,
kicking him, and that, and he never got a single decision. And that's why I think he's just got to the point where I'm not gonna let anything stop us from getting this.
exactly. But I thought Cabasale played well, their
Yeah, he did,
defender.
but they were. But if you
Decore had a
watch the
great game.
amount of times he should have been called up for a booking and he didn't, it's ridiculous. Mane was
The ref,
kicked lumps out of in that match.
I mean, he's Mane is playing at such an elite level at this moment in time. It's insane. I remember you and I having this conversation a couple before he signed, when he signed, and you were like, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty exciting. He's inconsistent, but you were like, he shows up for the big games and then he goes missing. But if he can get consistency into his game, that's a world class player, and he's showing that now. Oh
Yeah,
my
he's
God,
got it
he's
now.
just. I
Klopp's
mean,
got it out of him, to be fair, as well. You've got to give Klopp credit for that.
okay, yeah, mate. We're going to go on to the player ratings in a
And what
bit,
about
but
Salah? Are
I
you not
thought,
going to mention Salah's goal? The heel.
let me just, let me get.
I mean, when you're saying about Salah's profligacy, we got to mention that goal as well. I mean, that was almost maybe even as good as the Salzburg one, through that poor bugger's legs as well, Kabasele. He did
Mate,
play well, but
it's
he's only going to be remembered for that game because it went through his legs.
mate. How can you? You can't even envisage that he's going to nutmeg you with a flick from there. I mean,
You don't expect him to
it's
do the flick, let alone it go through be accurate enough to go through your legs and into the back of the net.
mate. They're coming at us, right? They've had a few chances right at the end of the game, and you get that opportunity there. Honestly, I would have tried controlling it, and then he just flicks it into the goal. It's ridiculous. I mean, in the first goal, he took on when he made space on the left hand
Beautiful
side, and he
finish,
hit it,
yeah.
curled it in with the right. He's scoring goals with his right foot, and that's frightening because if he adds his right foot to his already devastating left foot, God,
Yeah, it
that player
wasn't
is
so
just
long
going to
ago.
get.
Everyone was moaning he couldn't kick the ball with his right foot. Now look at
And
him.
now, mate, he's placing it into the top corner of his right foot, and he's like curling it into the. I mean, I, I just don't understand why people want Jordan Sancho when we've got Mo Salah. I just don't get it. I mean, it's who's to spend? I don't know. What's he looking at? 100 million or
Yeah, it'd
something
be
for
100
Sancho?
million at least, I would have thought.
Why would you risk that? Why would you? I mean, why would you want to leave? Why would you want Mo Salah to leave? Number two, why would you risk all that money on a kid like Sancho?
Yeah, and then
I mean,
we don't need him now. We got Ginny, Mini, Manny, Mo.
that's exactly it. Jim Beglin said that in commentary when I was listening to that. I thought it's the best thing he's ever said.
That's not really saying a lot, is it?
Exactly, yeah. It's a genie, meeny, miny, mo.
Not that I've been practicing it ready. Yeah.
Exactly. I had that written down. You got it before me. I've been trying to get it in for the last 15, 20 minutes. I thought I'd leave. I was going to get it in right at the start, but I thought, no, I'll just bide my time and do it like
You've missed your
naturally.
chance.
Absolutely. Hey, I thought Decore was pretty good.
Oh, he's a
But
quality
not in
player.
front
Not
of
apart from
goal.
his finishing, yeah. But you can see how low they were on confidence, to be fair.
He's never been a good finisher, though. Decore has
Well,
never been
he
a. I
could
mean,
sometimes lash him home from 40 yards, but, like, yeah, get him in front of goal and he needs to bundle it in.
I honestly wouldn't mind him at Liverpool. I think he's a fabulous player. I think he'd shine at Liverpool.
I like him,
he was
yeah,
very
too.
good. Yeah, but he
Too good
needs
for
to work on
Watford.
his finish. Yeah, but the thing is, fair play to him because I know Paris Saint-Germain came in for him, didn't they? At the end of the last season or beginning of this,
Yeah, but the what price
and
Watford
didn't
were
go. And,
asking was too much, that was all. That's why they went for
gotcha.
Guy, because they had a
Oh,
limit
for
on what they
Everton,
could
yeah.
spend with the FFP thing.
Gotcha. Okay, so listen, the performance wasn't the greatest, right? We can't play in fifth gear all the time, especially when we're playing every 2 days or 3 days, whatever stupid it is. And also, it was
One
an
day
early
now, we're
kickoff.
going to be playing today,
Yeah,
Tuesday.
I mean
It's
that's
when people are listening to that. It'll be tonight and tomorrow, I suppose I should say, because it's Tuesday.
exactly, yeah. But what I'm saying is that going back to highlighting the performance. I mean, it was an early kickoff after an away European games, and it was a load of wind as well.
Yeah, the
Um,
wind was horrible, and I think that made a huge difference to it because everyone was struggling. The
exactly.
first touches, everyone's was off.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think a lot of Watford's finishing was down to the weather as well. I mean, it was just
I think it was more
it was horrible.
confidence myself. I think the weather just gave them a reason to mess up rather than an excuse for it. I mean, I think
Yeah,
it was just
maybe,
because their heads were down and they weren't confident when they were striking.
but they didn't look like a team that at bottom of the league
No,
or
they
close to
didn't.
the
Not
bottom.
really. No.
No, I think a fair play to Sourpuss, Nigel Pearson. He's gone in there with 7 days, and he's done something. He's
Yeah,
got them. Well,
I'm not a big
you know,
fan
I
of
mean, but
Pearson though.
no, nor am I. But
None of,
what I'm saying is, I mean, I don't know. I mean, what's? But then again, Flores Sanchez. He's not the most a decorated manager on the planet, is he? I mean,
very
so fair. I
defensive
mean,
minded him as well. So
but they both are. Pearson is as well.
do you know what? I can't remember how Leicester played under him, but I don't remember it being good to watch. That's for sure.
No, I remember they had that great escape, didn't they? And then the
Yeah,
following year, is it the following year they won the title?
yeah, but not under him because he got sacked
No.
after his lads remember racially abused some Thai girls in Thailand.
I mean, that is the most. Uh,
And he was
I mean, it's the
fighting with
most.
everyone as well. You've got to remember during the season where they had the Great Escape, he was just fighting with each and everyone. That's why I don't understand why they picked him. He obviously hasn't got the mentality and the attitude to cope with a fight. You know what I mean? He just wants to literally fight rather than concentrate on the team. He just wants to turn it into a scrap with every journalist and that, talking about the ostriches, remember?
I do. It's press conferences, and the thing is, it's just he seems to be a very uh, uh, literally a defensive guy. I mean, as a personality, there's no kind of everything's an affront to him, and that's how his team plays as
He
well.
was a
Like,
bit of a thug as a player as well.
yeah, and it mirrors his personality. And I think he thinks he's a bit of a hard man as well, and that's how he's got to how he's got to go through life. And as for your children racially abusing that, I mean, and you've got Thai owners, and you're on a trip in Thailand. I mean, it just doesn't
you just think,
make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, let's get down to the players' ratings, mate, 'cause that's history.
Okay.
We don't want to go there. I thought Becker was. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he made some smart saves.
What saves did he make? This is the thing I couldn't figure out. I can't remember him making a save.
You remember when he narrowed down the angle on the left-hand side, on their left, and then he made that save? He made himself really big. He made a really good shot.
I mean, it did. I'm not saying he had a bad game, but I just don't see that he did as much. You know, the way the commentators were talking about it, I was thinking he barely did. You know, because like apart from the one time, because he came out and cleared it out rather than because they had a shot. He never had a shot to save because they just kept missing the ball as well as the goal. You know what I mean? It wasn't.
He organised really well.
Yeah,
as well.
and I'm not disputing he
yeah.
didn't have a good game. What I mean is, it's just I just thought the way they were talking about it, and I was thinking, have I watched a different game? Because he didn't really have a lot to do. He had quite an easy game. It got to me because the commentators had even said about at one point they said he must be really cold, must need to warm up because he's had nothing to do. 2 seconds, it couldn't have been more than 2 minutes at most later. They were talking about what a great game he'd had, and I'm thinking, well, if he's cold because he's had nothing to do, he can't have had that great a game, can he? Because he mustn't have got involved. I mean, make up your mind.
Because Klopp commented on that as we do when he had some. But then he made that excellent double save against Salzburg.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm not having a dig at him. I just thought it just seems to be that they want to make out that Watford did brilliantly rather than and Liverpool were lucky to get a win when they didn't really do anything. Mate, to honestly, be honest, I know they had chances, but they messed them up. So
no, but they were getting in behind us time after time.
Yeah, but they didn't score. I mean, that's and they didn't even threaten. They didn't actually hit the target. So.
No, I get that, but what I'm saying is the fact that they actually got in behind us is disturbing, and they should never have done that. I mean, we just switched off time after time.
Like I said, the players just seem to be in first gear and weren't even. We're just cruising through, and suddenly, and every so often, Watford picked it apart because we weren't at the races. But when you get away with it, does it matter?
Is that because Liverpool thought it was Watford, or
it's always a problem? Early kickoffs are a problem because there's no atmosphere, because nobody's ready for it. It's too early. It's what I mean. It's always the same. No team, and this isn't just Liverpool. I mean, Watford weren't it there. They should have, when you consider they're bottom of the league and desperate for points, they should have been absolutely fired up and flying, and they only showed flashes rather than looking like a team that were desperately at the bottom scrapping for everything, did they?
The crowd was flat as well. Yeah, but
it's what happens at an early kickoff. They're ridiculous. They're just stupid kickoff times, and they shouldn't be playing these early games. They always crap.
No,
I've never seen a good game at that time, ever.
I remember when they used to play in the old days, Liverpool Man United at 12:30. It was the most stupidest. I mean, we won a lot of them, to be fair, when Torres was playing at his peak, but. It's not a great time. I mean,
and the performances were never exciting. It was just good because we won.
Optimum levels, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it wasn't optimum performances. Yeah. All right, mate. Let's get on to Trent. I gave him a 6. He's always an outlet, obviously with his delivery and everything. But I don't think it was his best game, and I think he was undone by how'd you say it?
Deulofeu.
Deulofeu,
sorry, that's it.
Deulofeu a number of times, and he made Deulofeu look good. So.
Do you think so? I thought he handled Deulofeu easily.
I don't know. I don't think so, mate.
I thought he did really well against Deulofeu myself.
You reckon? Did you rate Deulofeu? Della?
On the ball, he's a good dribbler, but he's not really.
Yeah.
his end product still can be hit, but he's so inconsistent. And at the moment, he did look low on confidence, but he didn't really. I mean, when you consider that there was plenty of times when Trent's halfway up the pitch, and he's still got time to get back and get to him and go, and hold him up. I don't think he caused that many problems.
Oh, he gave him
really.
a head start a few times, that's for sure. He did give him a head start a few times.
Yeah, and he's never really. I mean, what did Deulofeu create? It wasn't really him that was creating. It was coming from everywhere else. I thought he was pretty poor, Deulofeu. I was quite pleased with Trent personally.
Excuse me, I'm eating a watermelon.
Is this a euphemism?
There's no euphemism there whatsoever, mate.
Okay, just checking, because I know what you're like.
I honestly, and I mean, I'm contradicting you here. I thought Watford were better than you thought they were. I thought if they'd have scored one, it'd have made it difficult. But
well, yeah, if they'd have scored one, it'd have made it difficult because they'd have been 1-up. You know what I mean? It'd be 1-1 or 2-1. So yeah, it would have been better.
I just don't think that we were as. I don't think we had that where we could have stepped it up. I just think it was just a flat day, a flat game, bad weather, whatever it was, early kickoff, lethargy from so many games. I think that if they'd have scored, they'd have got at least a draw. But anyway, let's go on to... Go on, man. You going to say something?
No, I was just waiting for you to carry on.
All right, let's get on to Gomez. I thought he had his best game in a very long time.
This season, that's for sure.
Yeah, played something like he did. I mean, not to the level he was pre-injury against Burnley, but compared to what he's been playing like recently, he had a good game. He did... his one error nearly cost us. You know when Virgil back pass? God, I was having kittens then. I just think the only thing that stops this kid being exceptional is his concentration. You can see he just switches off during games.
Yeah, and then it's suddenly like, oh God, he's behind me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, is that something you can coach to just like keep awake for 90 minutes or what? Because he's got so much ability. He's got everything.
It's difficult. It's a mentality thing, which is the hardest thing to coach. So it's possible, but a lot of it comes down to him rather than else.
But you can see it physically. You can literally see it in him when he switches on and switches off. During a game, you can just see it that he's and you're thinking, wake up, Joe, wake up. You're just such a great, you could be potentially an exceptional player.
You can do it because you've only got to look at Van Dijk. That was his problem.
Yeah,
Southampton and that. Yeah. And you look at him now, and it's very rare you see him switched off. So, yeah, it can come.
I just, Joe Gomez has like Virgil, he has every physical attribute to be a beast of a centre back. He's got pace to burn, he's got the physicality, he's got intelligence. He's got it all, but his only negative trait is his concentration level.
I would like him to be a bit stronger in the air as well, personally.
Yeah, I get that, but
he's not bad, but he's just not like going to dominate another team like Virgil does, for instance.
Yeah, but if you get one player doing that, you're good. You can just, if you're great, all the other things.
Yeah, I'm not saying it would be so. I'm not saying it's something it's a deal breaker, so to speak. I'm just saying if I was looking at another area, you're saying like his concentration. I'd say there's one other area I would want him to look at because his technique's excellent. His actual play on the ball, there's nothing he needs. He can always improve. But I mean, the one thing that does worry me sometimes is he's not that strong in the air. It's not so bad in open play, but when there's a corner coming in or a free kick, he doesn't. He can be beaten by a good strike. Good target man striker like Troy Deeney could beat him in the air quite easily. You know what I mean? You wouldn't fancy him up against a big man.
See, I think I'm.
I know Deeney didn't play well in this match, but he's just come back from injury. He's virtually not played this season, so.
Of course. I'm of the opinion, though, that Joe Gomez can become, you can coach him to be a better header of the ball, you
Oh
know?
yeah, that's what. But that's I'm just saying. There's there's a couple of things he still needs to work on to be great.
I'm hoping he irons out those deficiencies, and I hope he's at Liverpool for a very, very long time. Who do you, on, we've seen the best, well, not the best of Joe Gomez, but we've seen near enough to his full capabilities, and we've probably seen the best of Matip. Out of the two, who would you pick to partner Virgil?
At his best, Gomez is the second best defender in our team, without doubt, behind Virgil, obviously.
Right.
So
Okay.
he'd be
'Cause
picked all day, every day if he's at his best. But obviously,
well,
if he's not, then you
what
go with.
makes what makes him better than Matip?
Mostly it's the pace, especially
Gotcha.
with the way we
All right.
play a high line.
Yeah, he needs that.
Recovery pace
He
is
needs
fantastic, and his
recovery
quicker
pace. Yeah.
turn as well. His turn's much quicker,
Yeah.
and I also think on the ball, while he's not. There's not much difference. That he's still got some really good technique, and he's just as good at bringing the ball out. He just doesn't do it enough for me.
Right. Okay.
I don't think he's
That's a
quite
nice
as good a
problem.
passer, though.
Yeah, it's a nice problem to have,
Yeah,
to choose
exactly.
between Matip and
And
thing.
Lovren's not a bad one either. You know what I mean? He's not done bad till he got injured.
How long's he out? Well, we don't know how long he's out for, Lovren.
Not yet, no.
And any
Unfortunately,
news on Matip while we're talking about centre backs?
he's still in a similar position. He's still waiting to. The last I heard was the 29th, I think it was.
December?
Yeah, 29th of the month. That's what I mean. This month. Sorry, was the
Due back
last
in
I heard.
training or due
But
back?
now they're saying at the beginning of the next month, potential
What, the first, what,
to play.
2 days later? Oh, right, okay.
Well, it's you say it's, but it's like another game on. Basically, they've said they've ruled him out of the 20. The games at the New Year's.
Yeah.
So the New Year's, the day after New Year, could be the game he plays.
Sure. Well, that's good news because we're struggling for centre backs at the moment. We're like a lot.
Yeah,
But
and
then
we
you've
haven't
got
even got
Santander.
Fabinho or Wijnaldum who've both played there in the past for us as cover.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah, absolutely. And we've got one guy in reserve, Van der Berg. So I hope it doesn't.
Hoover,
But,
Keanu
oh yeah,
Hoover's a centre back.
yeah, he's a better centre back than right back, isn't he? As well, yeah. So here you go. Didn't think of him, yeah. All right, mate. But on to Virgil. He was composed and powerful and graceful. He did make a couple of mistakes. He lost a couple of concentration. He lost his concentration a couple of times, especially for the back pass. But he's just got to stay injury free.
Especially right now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's a better. I mean, I don't think there's a better centre. I know he's a better, probably well, but consistently, he puts in so many. Those 7, 8, 9 out of 10
It's not
performances.
just that; it's the balls he plays, the passing out of defence. You can't do anything about that. When you've got a centre back who can hit a crossfield
A
pass
crossfield ball, yeah.
to a fullback who's got into space, and he can hit it to his toe rather than just hitting it into an area for him to chase after and get to. He's hitting it to his, putting it on his toe, that's fantastic.
Now, those crossfield balls to Trent, are they like? Is that coaching or is that just sheer ability, or is
That's
it?
ability. He's something. He actually did an interview about this because somebody asked him about this not so long ago. It's funny. I was just talking about it the other day with my ma, and she was saying about this, and we found because she was saying she heard something, and we found he said about he used to practice this constantly. The crossfield passes and these.
Yeah.
And the balls over the top. He used to practice them all the time. So it's something he's taught. He's taught himself to do rather than something he's got from a coach, which is what you want from players. The best players are the ones that don't just wait for coaches, they're the ones that go and learn.
Yeah.
A coach shouldn't actually be coaching. A coach should just be encouraging and guiding a player into what things to improve. The players themselves should be the ones doing the work if they're going to make, if they're going to be the best they can be.
I remember Salah when he was at Fiorentina. Was it Roma? I can't remember which one. I think it was Roma actually. He erected a goal in his backyard in Italy, in his back garden, and I think it was a miniature football pitch or something, and he just after training, 2, 3, 4 hours every day after training, he just did shooting practice, and he said, nobody told me to do it. I just did it myself. And you're right, highlighting what you just said. It's those players that take it upon themselves that succeed to do that extra training.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Pavel Nedved as well as another one. He used to go home and train.
Did I tell you that time in the summer when we went to that health spa and Ronaldo was?
You were probably too busy getting excited and oiling yourself up in the hope of catching his eye.
Mate, honestly, listen to this, right? So we went to this health spa in Spain, and I went downstairs to use the gym, right? And I walked out.
Come on! Don't try and fool us. No way have you been to a gym.
Listen, right? There was an outside bit and an inside bit of the gym, right? So the inside bit was pretty busy. So I went outside. There was just it was empty, and I opened the door, and I looked to this guy, and I looked about twice, and it was Ronaldo. And I was on the phone. Straight away, I got on my phone, texted my missus, and said, "Get down here because you got to she was up in the room. I said, "Get downstairs now because you got to corroborate this story when I tell it." Do you know what I mean? And she's like downstairs, right? She came downstairs and she's like, "Oh my!" And it's like the guy has got, from what I learned, the guy's got 7% body fat. He is like a Greek god. He's like statuesque, and he's doing he's doing squats in front of me, right? And I'm just like marveling at the guy's physique. It is insane. It's nothing like your physique, by the way, because that's
obviously it's not as good as mine. Yeah, we know that. It goes without saying. I mean,
it's the second best physique in the world, and this was pre-season, so it was just this year. So this just pre-season this year. His season, and what he was doing pre-season, he hadn't even been going into the pre-season for Juve. So this was what he was doing before his pre-season at Juve. It was insane what he was doing, man. I couldn't even. It was ridiculous, cardio and weights and whatever he was doing. And this was just before he started the pre-season at Juve. Amazing. Anyway, I digress. Oh, it was because this was we were talking about players that take it upon themselves to train. And this is why he scored 15 goals at Juve this season. And he scored 15 goals, and I think he's the first player to do it in 4 or 5 leagues or whatever.
You get very excited now, aren't you?
Mate, I couldn't believe
It's the first time you've had an interesting anecdote to tell. I suppose you have to make the most of it, mate.
Honestly, mate, that V on that guy, it was crazy. And I went in there with like 14 stone overweight kind of thing, you know. With my tight.
Oh, you've lost weight. Well done.
The best bit about that was texting my wife to come downstairs, so she had to prove that this story was fact and not fiction. All right, mate. Let's get on to Milner. He's not a left back. Will never be a left back, and must hate playing left back because that position more often than not exposes him. I think he wasted good opportunities when he got himself into decent positions. Played better when he got switched into the middle after Robbo came on. I gave Milner a 6.
Can't argue with that. Yeah, He
All
didn't
right,
do
mate.
badly, but it just isn't his position at all, is it?
Nah, nah. He'll play anywhere for the team.
Yeah.
But all right, mate. Genie. Gave him a 6.5. He was in the thick of the action and harried and got stuck in, but it didn't sense his job on occasions, made forays into the Watford danger area, but he went missing as well. And then he got injured. So let's hope he doesn't. That doesn't
Yeah, I
keep him out.
wonder how much that had been bothering him early in the game, because he did seem to struggle at times, and I wonder if it had bothering him a bit before he went down injured. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he did play flashes. He was really good.
Yeah, but normally he's a lot more. He does a lot more move. He wasn't quite himself.
Involved. Yeah. What's wrong with him? Is it a hamstring?
Muscle injury. That's all they've said so far. I didn't see.
Okay.
I didn't see what he was. What he was holding or anything. So I couldn't tell you where it was.
I think that he's gone to Qatar, and I think that's more to do with.
Yeah, they'll get treatment there. The best treatment in the world is that Aspire Academy place.
That's in Dubai, isn't it?
No, Doha.
I was in Doha. Yeah. Oh, Aspire. That's one that Pogba went to, or not?
Yes, I believe so. Lots of people have. Most of the players go out there now for treatment.
And it's warm weather as well, obviously. Although it's raining, apparently cats and dogs down in Doha, and they've never had weather like it.
Yeah. Well, it's been raining here a lot as well lately. So
really,
yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Got it. Yeah. So okay. So Shaqiri. Oh, Hendo. Hendo next. I thought he was. I gave him a 6. He was sloppy.
Really, I thought
when
he
was.
Good.
Yeah, I don't know. He got misplaced passes.
I wouldn't say he was a 9 or anything, but I thought he was like a 7.
Yeah.
Did some really good work breaking up play in that.
Well, one thing I must mention before we go on about Hendo is I wish he'd take some more free kicks.
Really?
I think he's a very good free kick taker.
Yeah, I get that, but when you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold in the team, why do you want anyone else taking a free kick?
Yeah, but Trent's... No, I understand that, but Trent's left-footed.
What?
Sorry, I'm talking about right-footed. I mean, Hendo's got a left foot on him, hasn't he?
No, he's right-footed.
There you go. My mistake. But he's still a good free kick. I mean, Hendo doesn't... I just think he needs to take more free kicks.
Well, you go with the best free kick taker, and he's on there, and it's Trent. That's it. Simple as that.
I just think
if he's not playing, I've got no problem with somebody else taking them. But when Trent's on the pitch, he has to take them.
I think Salah's messing up on the free kicks as well. I think that I don't know. I think Hendo scored some beautiful goals. I just think they should share them out. So you think Trent should take all the free kicks?
Yeah.
In those.
All the dead balls.
Fair enough. Okay. Shaqiri, I gave him a 5. He was on the periphery of the game all game. I thought.
The best thing he did was win a couple of headers, and I thought, of all the things you don't expect against Watford, because he's half the size. All their players are big buggers, and yet he was still winning headers against them. You're thinking, fair play, lad. He wasn't letting them have any easy time at all on the ball. So I think I'd say a 6. I know he didn't particularly do much on the ball or anything, but he put himself about. He worked really hard. He just never got in the game because he never got decent service.
Since he's come back from injury, he is really putting a shift in. It's not really, maybe it's him every game, but when he comes on, he does work. But the thing is, it wasn't happening for him this game. I just don't know what was. Yeah. All right, mate. Bobby, I gave him a 5.5. He's just so off at the moment, but he's still getting into goal-scoring positions. He's setting up goals.
Some of the skills he showed was sublime, though.
Well, the layoff for Mane when in the build-up to the goal.
Yeah, and the spins and all that he's still doing, and that. and taking
It's
it
not
past
the.
two players with a lovely touch, which you don't know, you
It's
don't
not.
really notice if you're not actually watching just what. I mean, he's taking players out the game with his first touch, which nobody else was managing to do in that game.
It's not the instinctive, free-flowing Bobby. We know
No,
that.
he's
You
not.
know, there's
He's
so
not
much
getting the
more.
final end product, but his actual hold-up play and that, getting on the ball is fantastic. Still, it's just he needs to
The,
get his eye back in with the putting the ball in the back of the net and playing in others.
yeah,
Like,
he hasn't got his shooting boots on, and he hasn't got that final pass that is so. It's
yeah,
so off at the moment. You know,
yeah. It's
and of course it's going to come back.
but a lot of that, to be fair, a lot of that was the wind was hassling. When you're playing a ball, it's difficult with that wind. It was horrible for all of them. There wasn't many good passes in the final third for anyone. It
Yeah,
wasn't
but it's
just
not just
him.
this game. It's been a few games.
Yeah, I know,
You
but
know,
you can't
so
judge him on this one. Is what I'm saying.
yeah. No, I mean, you can only give him if we're doing a. I mean, you can only rate him how he played, but I do understand when there was mitigating circumstances. But he'll explode into form in the next game or two. That the talent is there, and it's just dormant. He's gonna show it in the next game or two,
And
and
if
we'll be
not,
back
Divvy
to
will pop up and score for us anyway.
absolutely, yeah. All right, mate. Next was Mane. I gave him an 8. Always a threat, always an outlet.
Oh, yeah, he was wonderful.
Just the final ball a little bit. Again with the three of them, they're just not concentrating as much as they were.
No, it
Um,
didn't click up front with the three of them.
yeah,
It definitely not.
they just need to be a lot more diligent in front of goal, whether it's a pass
The
or a
problem
shot
was a
or
lot of the time they were passing when the better option was to take a shot.
yeah, and
That's
and
been
we
a consistent problem for the last few weeks.
since the bust up between Salah and
Yeah.
Mane. But that's what's. I felt that we were making better decisions in the build up before they had their bust up. Do you get
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
much better.
Up until that point, now they're more bothered about, well, should I pass? And Klopp should just say to them, look, you know what? If you've got a chance to score, just try and score.
Yeah, put it in the.
Don't
He
try
should
and
just do what Bill Shankly and Bob Paisley said. Put it in the back of the net, and we'll discuss the options afterwards.
absolutely 100%, mate. But you can see it now in their game that, oh, I don't want to be greedy. And that moment's hesitation, or what should I do? Should I be greedy? Should I shoot? Or should I pass? That moment's hesitation is that concentrate. Is making it difficult.
It'll come back though. Just time.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hope so. I mean, that minute's deliberation. That should I score or should I shoot or should I pass?
Yeah,
Is messing up his
it's not
final ball.
natural, and
Yeah,
it'll come back though.
yeah. All right, mate. Salah, I gave him a 9. Uh, he's slowly getting back to his swashbuckling best and scored 2 world-class goals. I mean, he's scoring with his right foot now, and
She's not going to moan about him being profligate then.
mate, are you saying he's not profligate?
He's not. He's not the worst I've seen. I've said that, but he's always been like that, and yet he'll still score a huge amount of goals. So he's never been
It's
like
just that.
he's never been
It's
one that you wouldn't
Mate, it's
say
just
he'll
that.
miss few. He did that in
No, but
every
last
season.
season, the last season before, that touch, when he gets played on and he's like one on one,
Mm.
or he's getting away from the defender. That final touch this season is somehow he's just going awry. The last couple of seasons, it will be that second touch to take it away from the player, and it's going too close to the goalkeeper
Yeah,
now, rather than you know what I mean, rather
yeah, I
than
know what
being
you
a
mean.
close.
But again, he's
So
been injured, so it's like it takes a while to get back to your best.
yeah, to get that cohesion going again, but he's slowly doing it, mate. 3 goals in the last 3 games, 4 goals in the last 3 games. So
Yeah.
it bodes well, mate. and we can't let who the hell can we can't criticise Mo Salah. It's just sacrilege, isn't it?
But how can you criticise someone who's done so much? You know what I mean?
You think he'll stay this?
I think it's at the point now where he thinks, where do you go to improve? I think you've got to. If he's not looking at it and saying that, then you know
you don't need him, do you?
yeah,
You don't
exactly.
Want him.
If his head's not at Liverpool, then he's an idiot now.
I mean, come on. I mean, he may get some more money somewhere else, but is he going to get this adulation? He going to get this? We're on a cusp of dominating now. You know, we're at that stage where we could do. I mean, to win the European Cup and then the next season win the league. I mean, the only place you can really do that is Barcelona, possibly, and then not really because they haven't won the European Cup in 2-3 years.
More than that, because
Longer,
Real Madrid won three of them. We won one.
Exactly.
So there's 4 years already.
Absolutely.
I can't remember the last time they won it. They've never really done that well in European football, have they?
I mean, I know that Guardiola won, Pep won it 2 years in a row for them, but yeah. So where do you go, really? I mean, it's only the reason he'll move that we don't pay him shabbily. I think that if he wanted to extend his contract, we'd give him a decent wage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why you'd want to leave at the moment.
Yeah. You think Mane will go?
Again, if he does, do you know what? It's their mistake, not our problem.
Yeah. I won't ask about Bobby because I think he's so happy at Liverpool. I think
he's the one that was saying to Coutinho, I don't know why you want to leave. You must be mental. So yeah, no, I just don't see why. The only reason he'd go is if we forced him out. I think.
I think if you put a 5-year contract in front of Bobby, you sign it today. Who that mad bugger? Who would? He's just so typifies a Liverpool Football Club at the moment. You know, he's just that smile and that cracks me up. When I just look forward to the next match because his hairstyle is going to be a different color, or his hair's going to be a different color, or his style's going to be different, or he's got a new tattoo or something. Love the guy.
I love his celebration of the goals.
Do you know what I love? I love Mane copying him.
Yeah.
I love that. It's so funny. All right, mate, we'll get on to the subs. Robbo, he instantly made a difference when he came on, but with his crossing and overlapping, but then that's not difficult really, is it? Because Milner was playing left back. Ox, I don't think he's anywhere near the levels he was pre-injury, but he's still working hard and contributing every time he gets minutes.
He always looks to makes a difference as well, because he drives at teams.
Yeah, but there's still so much more there, and
it takes ages. I mean, he was out for a year. That doesn't just fix overnight.
Exactly. I understand that. But as I said, the exciting thing is so much more to come.
Exactly.
Divvy, the guy can do no wrong. He feigned to shoot and passed to Salah for the second goal.
It was such a great touch. That Bobby's no look passes. He just went one better.
Is that a assist? Seriously, does that come?
That counts as an assist. Yeah.
Oh my God, the guy.
That's how ridiculous.
Do no wrong, man.
That's how ridiculous stats are, though, because that's the kind of thing that you get an assist for.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, brilliant. That is so funny. Oh, man, that flick. Oh, my God, I can't. I keep dreaming about it. All right, mate. I think let's go on to Tuesday's Carabao Cup. Tomorrow's Carabao Cup. Carabao, or tonight's, wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, it's tonight here.
Neil Critchley taking charge, mate. Must be a great honour for him.
I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, mate. I got to be honest. I probably half the team that he puts out, but I'm looking forward to seeing Larouci play and Elliott play for sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing it. To see the kids play. And they know they got a chance of getting through because they have got a chance.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
I think they've got because Villa's not going to have a clue how to prepare for this.
True.
So
But
they've
they'll
got
put
the
their first
edge.
down.
They're going to have to
Villa put
prepare
their
like
first in
it's
it.
the Liverpool. Well, they're going to have to prepare like it's going to play the first team way. But Klopp's suddenly been throwing in all these different, team choices and that, and swapping the formations around and stuff. So suddenly Villa aren't looking at it and saying, "Oh, it's definitely going to be a 4-3-3," but it'll just be with kids. He can't now. He can't go there and prepare for that because it could be a 4-2-3-1.
Do you think that Brewster's apparently injured?
Yeah, he's carrying a knock.
Um, what's the? I still think Villa must be fancying themselves. They put their first team.
Oh, well, they got to fancy themselves, and that's all the more reason why I think we'll be. I think we've got a good chance because they're going to
But
go
do you
there.
think
It's a bunch of kids. We should win this easy.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like you say, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be. It's a no-brainer. The kids get experience in a cup competition, and we're not expected to win anyway.
Exactly. So they can just go and give their all, and hopefully get a good result.
Yep. All right, mate. That leads us to the
Monterey.
game the following day. Following day. That's crazy, isn't it? They're
I
playing the
know.
following day.
In a different, and it's not even like it's one they could travel to easily either, because it's in a different continent, let alone country.
Well, apparently some of the kids are travelling out.
Yeah, but that's for the
straight
final
after the game.
or
Yeah,
third, fourth place playoff, depending on which we're in.
exactly. Yeah. Listen, I have no idea what Monterrey, what type of football team they are, because you don't pay me enough to watch Mexican football.
You live by Mexico. You should know these things. You've got no excuse.
We haven't got internet here, so I wouldn't know. What was I going to say to you?
Then how the bloody hell am I talking to you? Over the internet.
What was I going to say to you? You've just you've stopped me my tracks there with your crap. With your bunkum. They beat a Arabic team, didn't they? In the quarterfinals?
The Qatari team, Al Sadd, yeah.
Qatari too, yeah.
But they are, to be fair, like it's not saying they beat a lot. Have you ever seen them play there? I know Xavi was playing for them for a while, but not being funny. He was just sat on the pitch, just waiting for it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was working. It was an easy thing. They're crap. Qatari football's just. That's why I'm not. That's why I'm not particularly impressed when you say Minamino's got all these goals in the Asian football, for Asian football, because Qatar is one of the best teams in Asian football, and they're not good.
Gotcha, mate.
They're playing in front of 3 people each week. It's not exactly, it's not exactly good for your ego either. It doesn't make you want to try, does it? When there's no crowd there.
So what's Monterrey like? Have you seen them play?
Only in that I saw the highlights of that game.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a class above Al Sadd, but it's hard to tell how good that is.
My only fear is they're going to turn into butchers because they want the scalp at Liverpool.
Well, I mean, Mexican football's had quite a fair bit of money recently, hasn't it? Because that's why they signed that French lad who was caught with the prostitute and that. Remember? Or claimed it was a prostitute. They claimed it was a prostitute. Remember they signed him, paid a lot of money for him?
What, the Bayern Munich winger?
No, the French lad from... he went out to Mexico to play anyway. I've forgotten his name now. But he wasn't at Monterrey and it was not really relevant. I don't even... There's a fair bit of money floating around Mexican football at the moment, so they're probably decent teams, like...
Gotcha, mate. Yeah. Did you ever watch that Maradona documentary on Netflix I told you about?
No,
How we went to a
I don't
second
have
division
Netflix.
Mexican team. Oh, didn't you? Oh, right.
No,
Okay, mate.
so
Yeah, I'd recommend that. Maradona in Mexico. Something it's
if I
called.
get a chance, I'll look for it though. See
And
if I
mate,
can find.
it's I was watching it on the plane. I was riveted. Uh, Mate, I think we have been at least about 5 hours on this pod, so I
Hour and
think
a
we'll
half,
leave it
so I
there.
think we stop in there. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that, mate. Love
All
you.
right then.
Bye.
See you next Tuesday.